Hi guys, it's me again, Jax, and this time I'm chatting to Jeanette Marais, who is the Director of Client Services and Distribution at Allan Gray. Hi Jeanette.
Hello Jax.
So Jeanette is also one of our guest speakers tonight at the Voices Power Females workshop. And would you like to tell us what you're going to be talking about tonight?
Well, probably the one topic that I'm most passionate about, and that is about financial independence for women and the importance of financial independence for women.
That is super, super important. Was just chatting a few moments ago to Christelle about the same topic, and we were talking about the differences in the gender pay gap and women depending too much on men. I mean, how do you feel about that when you see all the younger women today all wanting boyfriends that buy them things and just getting married so they can pay for everything? How does that make you feel?
Well, I'll start with my personal philosophy, which is a man is not a plan. And it's really something that I passionately believe in. It's been a philosophy of mine my entire life. It comes a little bit from when my mum and dad, when I was small, I do remember them arguing about money and often feeling that, and it's not that there wasn't enough, it was that my mum's identity went the day she stopped working. Married a farmer, suddenly she was dependent on my dad to give her money to do stuff. And I was very, very little when I promised myself that I will never be dependent on a man for money. And I can say I'm not that young anymore and I've never been dependent on one. So, you know, it kind of takes a special guy in your life to be able to handle that, you know, a special ego, not always easy.
Yeah.
But, I believe in that so strong.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was chatting to Christelle saying, you know, she was saying how women have to be more financially independent, similar to what you're saying. And I said to her, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because sometimes if you're too strong, like you rightly just said now, the guy's ego, and sometimes they don't accept it, or sometimes they just take you then for granted that you will just pay for everything. So
yeah, I mean, it is absolutely true. I think, you know, for me it's about equality. It's about the ability that you can plan for the future. And it's often, I think, the one thing that we miss is that financial independence is not just about today. It's not just about me having my own credit card and being able to go and buy stuff. It's far more important that I can independently make sure that I can retire one day, and that my husband and I can retire one day. I mean, there's lots of stats going around about, especially in the US, how females as an investment a community is starting to become more and more important. And actually some of the stats that I've seen recently is that they say 10 years from now, 70% of all financial decisions in the US will be made by females.
oh my word.
And I can share with you that at Allan Gray at the moment, 47% of our clients are female, but only just over 30% of our assets are controlled by females. So it kind of says that females are pretty much still in that phase where they're accumulating investments. They're not necessarily yet investing, they're almost more in the savings space. But the brilliant thing about it is that lots of those savings are committed monthly savings. There's lots of discipline. Women are very, very disciplined once they've got a plan and once they've kind of started committing themselves to something like that.
So would you say women are more disciplined than men are when it comes to that? Or is it pretty even?
You know, I mean, that's probably hard, or it's probably not right to kind of, you know, even make a comment like that. But what we can see is that once women have committed to do a regular contribution to an investment, they pretty much stick to it. And it's very seldom that they kind of dip into that. Where often you would find that a guy is more inclined to kind of dip into it. We call it sometimes Christmas money, you know. They kind of dip into it and then they put more money back when they get a bonus and so forth.
Rob from Peter to pay Paul, like my mom would say. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
which in a way, if you think about retirement, means you're almost robbing from yourself. Your today is robbing from your future you, because you're dipping into something that was supposed to look after you in your retirement.
That's not good at all.
It's not good at all.
So does Allan Gray have any sort of, I don't want to say workshops, but any sort of educational things to educate women who may be young professionals, young millennials who are not certain about how to invest their money, and they've had no prior education, their parents haven't told them anything about that? Are there things that Allan Gray they can go and learn?
Well, Two ways. On our website, it is, like I said, one of my passions. I try and write lots and lots of articles about that, articles for normal people in a normal language. I think investments is something that people are often quite scared about. They feel like, oh, it's not for me, or I'm not clever enough. You don't need to be clever, Start with 500 Rand a month. Just start. And you're asking about workshops. Yes, we do them. I have a few female colleagues here tonight, and we do lots of them. We have something that we call Circle of Friends, where you invite a circle of your friends, and we come to your home or you come to our offices, and we just sit down and we have a conversation about investing, like we will have tonight.
That's brilliant. That makes me feel so much more comfortable, because sometimes you get a broker. I know the first time I got a broker, and he went through this whole 12-page document, and I was a little bit frightened, like a deer in the headlights, because I didn't know some of the terms he was talking about. And I just signed. And then later on, we actually met up over the months, and he explained everything in detail. So he said, I can't just sign away my money. I don't know where it's going, what's happening.
I think people also often feel, well, kind of somebody's trying to sell you something.
Yes.
Where, investments, I think, should be a personal choice. It's a very personal choice, and it's a decision you make for yourself for the long term.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to hear more about what Jeanette has got to tell us tonight. We have to go because the workshop is going to start. So see you guys. Thanks for tuning in.